It must be the music. Even Debbie Dave, big love.
Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and those who are not quite sure. Just popped in just to say a quick hi. And tonight's programme is a bit of a transition. So, as you may know, the Paradise Sessions over the last 8 months really have been all about that transitional journey between some of the new school or the old school stuff right the way through to the new stuff as well. And in the next couple of weeks, after some extensive research, I've decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something slightly different. What I've got here is I've got a number of tracks that were more on the rarer side that Larry would have played. So I actually picked out a number of Larry favourites. And the Larry favourites, what I mean is, tracks like from Benny King, which, you know, most of you would remember Benny King, Stand By Me. Well, he did a track called Musical Trance, which is actually really quite dancey. Ashford and Simpson, of course, as well, not forgetting that. Booker T, Brainstorm, Candido, of course, Cat Stevens. Now, there's some interesting twists in the journeys over the next couple of weeks, where some of the tracks you may be familiar with because you would have heard them at some stage, and if you are almost like an evangelist or a levangelist, as I call it, or a specialist within the early dance music, then you would know and you'll get it. But what I'm going to do tonight is to take you on a journey, probably from the slow to lower end of the BPM range, because there's tracks like, for instance, Kylie Simon that would have been dropped, and if you imagine the way it would have sounded through the RLA sound system in the Paradise Garage, or in fact any real big sound system where you've actually got that rhythmic heartbeat. And another track really similar to that, I suppose, as well, that I played in the last couple of weeks, of course, is Tanya Gardner and Heartbeat. A lot of the time, you know, what the DJs would do, mainly actually Larry, he would drop a slow beat, a slow jam right in the middle of a set to almost let people get their breath, but then still have that ongoing feeling. So I picked out lots and lots of different jams, the Dynamic Superiors, Ecstasy, Passion and Pain. Now there's some samples in there that I never realised, and wow. Eddie Grant's Time Warp, you know, these are some of these tracks. ESG and Dance with a Beat of Moody. Now that for me is a wicked track, it's a real big funk track as well. First Choice, Game, G-A-M-E as well. Gladys Knight, of course, the beautiful vocals, and Grace Jones. I've got so many different tracks that are not normally played on mainstream radio, and as a close friend of mine said, that, you know, my show is actually a specialist show. It does go off on those routes, but I wanted to explore, and I wanted to go in depth into some of these tracks, and these are old tracks, but they're new to me because they're new discoveries. So it's going to be in the twist tonight of Larry's Yard. So we're going to be playing tracks that Larry Levan would have picked, and they're some of his favourites, and they would have been ones that essentially have been dropped by him and were almost like, wow, I've not heard that before. And you imagine hearing it for the first time on a sound system that not only moved your eardrums but moved your soul. Cruise FM, ways to interact. We've either got apps from the App Store or from Google Play, or directstream.cruisefm.co.uk. Or you can download it, the TuneIn app, and actually do it via the TuneIn app as well. So tonight is going to be another journey, but more in depth, in deep, and we're going back to Larry's Garage. I can't wait. 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. EST, and wherever you are across the world, it will be on rewind later on in the week. Marky P, Paradise Sessions, that away.